All right, guys, so we've been looking at biblical truths to help us identify our purpose and calling. Practical truths from Scripture that can guide us in identifying our purpose and calling. And I want to cite three places that I've researched that have really helped me come up with what I'm about to share. Number one is the writings of Dr. Tim Keller. If you don't know Dr. Tim Keller, Google Dr. Tim Keller. He's been a huge influence on my life. Dr. Tim Keller talks about the three steps in identifying our calling, which is affinity, ability, and opportunity. That has influenced me quite a bit. Number two, we're going to be looking at Proverbs chapter 16, verses 1 to 3. I'll be referencing Proverbs 16, verses 1 to 3. In fact, that is our landing verse. That is our landing verse. That's the verse where we're going to spend the most time in looking at the practical truths that can help us identify our purpose and calling. And it's very interesting that Proverbs was written by King Solomon. King Solomon was yet a boy at the time. He was about 20 years old when God gave him the tremendous tasks of leading the nation of Israel as king. I can't imagine that was the thing he wanted to do right away as a 19, 20-year-old man, young man. But the Lord called him to do something that was above his ability. And what does he do? He asks God for wisdom. I love this. I love this. He says, God, give me the strength and the abilities to do that which you called me to do. That is amazing how Solomon submits to God's will. God, you've called me to do this. Give me the strength and the ability to do that which you called me. And we get the book of Proverbs. It's very interesting that we're reading Proverbs to search practical truths for purpose and calling. And finally, we're going to look at Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. It's Paul's writings to the church in Ephesus, and about how Paul talks about the fact that we are a workmanship, God's workmanship, which means masterpiece.